G'day guys and welcome back to the JFBS Supercoach channel. And today we're going to do something a little bit different as the NBA season is coming up and we're just twiddling our thumbs waiting for the next month for it to come out and start the season. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a series of videos, including this one, and I'm thinking another 4 and 3, so nearly 10 videos of potential players you want to go for. So that'll be Premos for point guards through centers, and then best value options from with point guard shooting. I want to put point guard and shooting guards together, small forward, power forwards, and centers as 3 different categories, considering that, Anthony Edwards can play point guard technically in this. So, and someone else can play like shooting guard who's really a point guard. So today, we're going to do best Premo point guards. Now, a lot of people will have different terminologies and different ways of, different things, or what's the word? I can't think of the word, but different ways of thinking what is a premium option to go for. And I think looking at this, it's anyone above 14 mil for point guards here. So anything below here, I won't be talking about them in this video. Maybe in the next couple of weeks' time where I do best valued point guards / shooting guards, they might be in the video. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So I've got my list here on my phone. I'll be just going on the fly of why I'm going with these players. First of all, before I get into them, I heavily advise when I say best 10 premiums, I'm not going for the potentially the bottom 5, or I'm probably not touching them. I'm using one player in the bottom 5, but that's just for fun reasons, and I haven't thought of a guy for my flex. Anyways, now, no dilly-dallying now. First player you should go for, in my opinion, is Cade Cunningham. Why do you think? Why shall I go? Why do you want to go for Cade Cunningham? Well, first of all, he can do just one tier below of Luka Doncic for $1.7 million less, and you'd be surprised. $1.7 million in this game is actually a lot more. It can really upgrade your player to a better player, or really upgrade a rookie that you really want. Why Cade Cunningham? Well, he just came off a technically he was, what's the word? Sorry, he technically won most improved. Now, sure, I don't think he should have won it because he was a first overall pick. I don't think they should win it. But yeah, as you can see, let me go to career stats here. History. You can see here, like Atlanta, like last time I played Atlanta, like Brooklyn, Boston, they're all in their mid to their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, which is really good. Where's his averages total? No, that's how many games he played. What am I trying to find? Total. Yeah, so he averaged 28.6 last year, which is great. And now he's got a better, I think he'll improve. He's, how old is he? This is going to be his 5th year going into the NBA. So it's only going to get better for him. So he averaged 28.6 this year. I can definitely see early 30s, which is what Doncic was around mid 30s, I think. But at 28.6 for a 17 mil guy, I'll take that. And he's on the on and upwards. He's a tall guard. He can get rebounds. He's a playmaker. He takes shots. He's efficient. He doesn't take stupid shots, which I love. Which, if you don't know yet, you miss a shot. It's -1 point if you miss a shot, which is you kind of need to think a bit harder in this case. But yeah, Cade Cunningham, 28.6. I think this is a no-brainer for me. He's in my squad. He's definitely going to be the best player, in my opinion, to choose in this point guard position. We'll go into number 2, and it's Luka Doncic. Now, I'm not mad if you go over him than Cade Cunningham. It's just how many, like, he's playing around 66 games a year. He's like, don't get me wrong, he's unbelievable. The reason why I have Cade over him is because I think he gets more turnovers than Cade, and it might even out his score to Cade Cunningham this year, and or even potentially be around 35 and Cade's at 32. It's a 3-point difference. Is it really going to matter? For someone, I'm sure it will, but for me, I don't really care. I don't have him because I've got Cade, and like I said, 1.7 million is a lot for me. As I've only got like 100,000 left in the bank with my full squad. Yeah, Luka Doncic, do I need to say anything else for this bloke? He moved to the Lakers this year. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. Someone I was listening to a podcast and, fantasy podcast, and they were talking about how since Luka arriving, the only thing LeBron's gone down in is assists, which is, I think, 2 or 3, which is more than rebounds, I know. But yeah, Luka's not going down in any stat. He will have DeAndre Ayton, who's a bit of a softie, I'll say. I don't know how he goes for boards because I didn't really watch much NBA last year compared to other years. But I'm going to assume he's going to still grab rebounds and get assists and just score at will. He'll have the off, like every player, he'll have the off night where he shoots like shit. That's completely fine, but it will matter like for one game. You'll be like far out. He could have scored so many more points if he didn't miss 10 shots, which I know isn't much, but anyways, that's for Luka Doncic. Like I said, don't need to go into much more further detail than that. Next bloke I'm going to go with on my team, Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes. If you don't know much about him, it's completely fine. This is his 5th year in the NBA as well. Same with Cade Cunningham. He, power forwards, like a small forward, 6'9". I think he's 6'9", 6'8", and he plays they play him like a guard. I think he's going to get more averages now. Sure, he might have the ball less on him to shoot, but he's going to create shots for guys like Ingram and guys like Grady Dick and Emmanuel Quickley, who are all shooters. Whereas he can shoot, but not just as good as them. I think he's going to be really good. I think, like with Cade, where is it? Is it there? I can't. Where did I find the average here? Cool. Thanks. Yeah. What? Like I was saying, he's another tall guy. Like he's 6'9", and he's going to grab boards. Like Pirtle will grab boards, and then it's him. Like he's up there for getting the most rebounds for Toronto. He's a good playmaker, scores. I see why he shouldn't. I think he's a great player. I think this was mainly it's reading the comments of when my initial video of when NBA Supercoach was announced, and someone, I forgot your name, but shout out to you. You said that Scotty Barnes would be really cool, and I thought, yeah, depending on his price, I thought to myself, 15.2. I think it's a pretty decent price. It's not like Uber Premo when it's like Shea Gilgeous, Luka, and all that. I'll tell you the reason, speaking of Shea, why I think he's a bit lower down the list. But yeah, Scotty Barnes, definitely. You can interchange for this next pick with Josh Giddey. You can interchange, probably, arguably, you could have Josh Giddey higher and potentially higher than Doncic, I reckon. And you might think I'm crazy, but just hear me out. The reason why I've got Josh Giddey here is because when Zach LaVine left, when he left Chicago, there was a good 30-game stretch where Giddey, when LaVine was there, he was averaging around early 20s, and now that second after the trade deadline, he was averaging about 34 or 33. Which, to put that into perspective, if I take away from all the shooting guards and do past seasons, if it likes to load, average, that's fifth or sixth. Like it's either from fifth to sixth or seventh. Like it's around this area. He technically should be around the 19 million, which sounds ridiculous, but it really isn't. It's just that like the first 2/3 of the year, where they obviously have to count that as well. And he's gone down. He's at 14 million, which is exceptional value. Like, need I say it more? It's the exact same explanation for the other three guys. He's arguably more worth it to get. The only thing that people will be turned off about is the scheduling. I can leave a link in the description for the scheduling if you want. Just let me know. But Chicago have a 2 here, which is not great. And they have a 2. Like every team has around 2 2s. For Cleveland with 4. But Chicago have a start out with a 2. But I'm okay with it because he's going to score more than a Cooper Flag or like some of these rookies who are going to be playing 3 or 4 games in a week. He's going to score like the 2 games he plays compared to their 3 or 4. He's going to outscore them, I believe, just because he's improved his shooting since last year. And as an Australian, like as sure everyone who's watching this is Australian, and maybe the small amount of you that aren't, like he was really frustrating to watch in the Olympics because he just didn't want to shoot, and he'd make one shot out of every 4 or 5, and it was really annoying. And that's kind of the same case with everyone else except for Patty Mills, but he's improved his shooting. He's got the ball in his hands a lot more. He gets rebounds. He had ridiculous triple doubles last year, having like 20 points, get 15 rebounds and 12 assists. That's like around the 50s, I reckon. Like that's pretty insane. I'll have a look here. Yeah, 48 against LA. Let me just find some 42 here. 24, 30. Like 30 is going to be good. 35 against the Clippers. Where else am I looking? Obviously didn't play Chicago, but yeah, like he had. I would assume some of these games, like a 46 here against Philadelphia. I'm not sure if that count. I don't know if I'm looking at the right side. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong side here. Maybe I am, because he had a 33, 31, 36, 35. Like, I'm assuming, because those is when Levine's playing. 35, 31, 32. He had a 53 against Miami, 43 against Milwaukee, 40 New York, and 30. Oh, New York was the one that was a really good performance he had. 40 against Philly. Like, see these averages, and then you just think to yourself, I could actually go for this guy. And I reckon you should. He should be at least like 50% owned. If you want to go against the coaches, then sure, go with the Scotty Barnes or have them both like I am. Like, he's a genuine option. Genuine option. He should be I think he should just be number one. I think it should just be number one. But yeah. Anyways, moving on. You're probably wondering why I haven't talked about this bloke, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, yet. The reason is just money. If you think 1.7 mil is a lot, then you'll think another like 2.5 million jump from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a lot. I know he puts up points. I know he like averaged around 30. I completely understand. But like, I just don't think it's worth going for him. If you're doing this at a casual approach, then that's okay. I mean, they've got a decent run. They've got 3-4-4, 3-4. That's pretty good. Schedule better than Chicago's. But yeah, I just probably wouldn't go Shai just due to money. If he was I mean, if he was Cade's like price, I think everyone would go with Shea, but he's not. And I think that's the main reason why I'm a bit turned off. And a break even of 105, and he's got three games. He shoots a lot of shots, which I know. And he might have a game where he misses a lot, and it stuffs him up because he's a score first point guard, and he does get his assists and just a few rebounds, not as much as Cade or Luca or Giddy or Scotty, but he's a he's a true like score first point guard. So that's why I'm a bit turned off with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I do still have him fifth because he's still an option. I still view him as an option, and I still view him as a better option to some other the players I'm about to name next. Like I said at the start of the video, these next five or six, they're all going to be just to make it a top 10 list. You can still go for them. This next guy I'm going to be talking about is Devin Booker, but I'm not going to go for them, and I'll tell you my reasons why. But I just needed to make a tier list of why I wanted those players. And I can talk about the other 20 or the other 10 players just really briefly of why I don't want to go with them. But Devin Booker, he's going to have a lot more shots and a lot more responsibility on Phoenix. They've because of Kevin Durant leaving, and now Jalen Green's coming in, which means the ball's going to be shot a lot more by him. He's actually an okay player if you were thinking, but I'm not going to go with him. Anyways, back to Devin Booker. Like, it's going to be easier now because he's got a true center. Nurkic was just being a pain in the ass for Phoenix last year, and I forgot their center last year. I do apologise, but now they've brought in Charlotte's two centers of Nick Richards and Mark Williams. I mean, Nick Richards was last season, but still, like, still got Mark Williams, which hopefully, if he's healthy, will be really good lob threat. Doesn't get much rebounds, but assists will definitely be there, especially for a team that are going to shoot. They're a bit of a weird in the mix team of like, I don't think they're going to do amazing, but they're not going to do bad. My only worry is probably like the defensive Booker and Green. To be fair, Booker's improved, so who knows? But that's the reason why I wouldn't go Booker, just because he's going to have more shots, and most likely he might miss them. But I don't really mind if you go with him. Like, he's 15 mil. He's 2.2 less than Cade, and 7 mil less than Shea, or 6.5 technically, but it's not a bad option. Spend that other 6.5 mil somewhere else. Next guy I've got is James Harden. James Harden, the reason why I've got him this low, and some people might go, well, why is he this high in price? Well, I had him in fantasy last year. He had some ridiculous games where he'd have like 20 points, he'd have like 12 assists and like 4 rebounds. But the problem is with James Harden is that because it's in his hands a lot more, don't know about with Chris Paul and what they're going to do with those lineups with him being in the mix. He's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to stuff it up like he did last year a lot. I just don't know. We don't know about the Kawhi situation. Hopefully he does play, but that whole contract situation's dodgy with him and the co-owner. Paul George isn't there anymore. Oh, why do I think Paul George is still there? But Zubac's like he's got lob threats, and he's now got John Collins, so it's a bigger lineup. You've got Collins who can space out now and go for rebounds, and Zubats and Leonard at the 3. Might be Chris Paul at the 1, considering they've got so much size, but he's going to be a point guard, and I reckon you just go like James Harden's not as I wouldn't go with him, but he's not bad. He's not bad, but not for 16.6 mil. Like around 15 mil or 14 mil, I would probably consider him, but at the moment, no. Let me just have a look. Next guy I'm going to go with. This is more of a fun one of why I've got him in my team. But it's Ja Morant. Like for my team, the reason why I've got him in my team is just I had to pick someone at my flex, and I didn't really love anyone, and I really wanted Bam, but couldn't fit him. Unfortunately, I needed like another 1 point something million. And the rest of my team looks really solid, in my opinion, just evenly. So I didn't want to make any changes. But going back to John Morant, he's lost Desmond Bain. They've drafted a couple guys. Zach Edey's out for, I think, the first couple of weeks. So 14.2, it's not terrible for Jar. It's just the injury thing that I'm worried about. Not at the start of the season, but, throughout the season. He averaged 22.9 in his 48 games last year. So hopefully he goes back to his 63, 57, 61 games per year. I probably do need to do a little bit more research of like who's playing the most amount of games because this isn't filling with much confidence now that I'm looking at it. But Ja Morant's going to score more. He's got Jaren Jackson who he can pop out to. He doesn't take many stupid shots either. I don't think he's going to be that inefficient. He doesn't take any wild threes. And he's actually probably one of the, I mean, it's going to sound really obvious, but he's one of the best around the rim. That's why I've got Ja Morant at 8. Still got 3 people to go with. I've done top 10, but, the last 2 is interchangeable, in my opinion. Next guy is Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards. Don't know why he's listed as a point guard, but why not? Oh, is that his summary here? Oh, I could have seen that from last year. Anyways, he averaged 26, which is fine, but I think he's going to, just like every year, he does shoot the ball a lot. He's a shot chucker, as well as like Julius Randle. Um, he gets some rebounds, gets some assists, but he's a score first, which isn't that great in this platform and format. So that's why I've gone lower in the list. But he's the first option. He's going to score points for you. I don't really need to go much more into Anthony Edwards, but he's a superstar. I really rate him as a player, but just not in this format. Number 10, equal 10. I've got Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland's out for the first couple weeks to a month, I think. And they're going to start, I'm assuming they're going to start Lonzo, which means Lonzo will take over the playmaking roles. But if they don't, because I don't know what's going inside with Cleveland headquarters, Donovan Mitchell might be a point guard option. Let's go to his summary here. 23 and a bit, 23.3. Oh, he's projected to go minus. Oh, no, sorry. That's last year. He went down 3.5 mil. Wow, it was 18 mil last year. Insane. Sorry, sidetracked. But he might put up some not rebounds at all, sorry. Not at all. He might put some assists on the board. And because he scored first, just don't know. That's it's with a lot of these players. Now that I'm looking at one player, maybe he does need to go on the list. So maybe I can talk about him as well. But Donovan Mitchell, yeah, not much to talk about. The other guy I was going to have on my list was Steph. I mean, I wouldn't advise to go for him at all because he does actually get rebounds like once every 5 games. He'll get like a 6 to 8, maybe even 10 rebound game. And then he'll have a game where he goes like 10 assists as well. 4 was a 10 assists. He actually does pass the ball quite a bit. So, and that Warriors offense, he plays a lot of minutes as well. An average of 25. Go for him if you just want to have a casual fun and just have Steph to follow along. But yeah, that's my initial 10 list. I'll say the names again. Steph, Mitchell, Edwards. Those 3 are, and maybe Morant, maybe not as much, but and Booker. Booker not as bad, but they're going to be shooting a lot, and it's just not going to be good. We can go through the rest of the other Premo point guards here that I haven't mentioned. Damian Lillard, sorry, can't speak. Fortunately, out for the year due to his Achilles injury in the postseason, so won't see him at all next season. 16.5 mil. He might be cheaper next year and be a decent option. And that's the same with Tyrese Halliburton and Kyrie Irving. Don't go for these 3 because they're injured for the whole year. Very unfortunate news, especially for Dallas, considering that They really are competing for that title. Now we've got the three-headed little monster here of Young, Brunson, and Maxi. More of these two of Young and Brunson is that they're also score first. Brunson does pass a bit, so probably, and Trey Young does. Trey Young's around a better team now, so potentially more assist opportunities come. But yeah, they shoot a lot. I'm scared that they will not score that well. But Maxi's probably a bit better of an option than those two, even though he's 10k and 50k, 1,000 less. Because I don't think he takes stupid shots. I think he takes. I mean, I don't like I said, I haven't watched the NBA in a bit last season, but I will this year. Have a bit more of a read of how players are. De'Aaron Fox, pass, just because he's not the first scoring option, and he doesn't really. I mean, like I said just 5 seconds ago, I didn't watch much NBA. I didn't know how he fit well with San Antonio. I assume he did well, considering that he's a great player and I like him. Defensively, he'll be good. He does get a couple steals, but just not on my radar, in my opinion. Do I need to go through Tyler Hero? Don't. He's probably the last option on here. Don't go for him at all, please. Jamal Murray, kind of similar to Tyler Hero. He's not the first scoring option, but he's not getting rebounds. He'll get you 4 or 5 assists a game, which in my opinion is not enough compared to guys like Giddy. Morant will get more. Cade, Luca, Shea. He doesn't get as many assists as those guys. I'll talk about LaMelo later because it really just popped up into my head of why I think he might be decent. But I think Austin Reeves wasn't too affected by the addition of Luka Doncic, but still don't want to risk it of just having him in general, just because of the addition of Luka. But that's all I'm going to really say. What did he average? Considering that he's 35th season ranked last year, 22.6. Probably went down a bit with Luka coming in, but I seriously don't know. Dyson Daniels probably wouldn't. He's going to get less shots now with Kristaps joining the mix. Jalen Johnson's going to be back from injury. His highest score was 112. Is that over a 1 week period or two? Or like a 1 game period or 1 week period? Probably 1 week period. But anyways, he it's just not the best option. He's a fourth scoring option. And Risa Share is probably the fifth scoring option. He's just going to be the guy sitting in the corner on offense. Defense will take the best player, get 2 or 3 steals a game. I'd probably see him averaging around, I'm going to say 17, 18. It's going to go down, so I wouldn't go with him. LaMelo's interesting because he didn't play many games last year, I don't believe. After round 21, missed the rest of the season, and he would have missed games throughout the year as well. 20. I only played 1 game in 21. But yeah, just way too. He missed most of round 8 and all of round 7 of last year. He's just too injury prone. If you want to have fun with it and maybe catch him in his first couple of weeks, I don't know how their schedule's looking. With a 3-4, then a 2, that's not that great. No, maybe not. But he's an interesting option that you can go for, but not in my opinion. I wouldn't go. I'd rather the top 10 that I've named than him. But yeah, now we're done. We're pretty much done. I won't go through these guys because they're probably not considered primos. 14 mil is what I consider primo. As I'm looking at these players, yeah, I would say so. So I'm going to say above 14 million per different category. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the players that I mentioned. Like a quick overview of who I said. So I said Cade first. I've already forgotten second. Luka Doncic second. Scotty Barnes third. Josh Giddey fourth. SGA fifth. Devin Booker sixth. James Harden 7. Ja Morant 8. Anthony Edwards 9. Donovan Mitchell. Steph Curry. You could probably add LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Maxey, those guys. Maybe even Austin Reeves. into that mix. Um, those are your top probably 11 to 15 guys that you would pick in for your point guards slash, I guess, shooting guards if they're applicable for that too. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. Um, hopefully you enjoyed it. Something a bit different than just going me talking about how my week is going. But yeah, thanks again for the third time. I'll do the shooting guards in a couple of days, depending on my scheduling of what videos come out. But yeah, thanks again for the fourth time for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Cheers.